Good morning. Welcome to episode 11 of the Fiberista Files. Today is Tuesday, July 27th, I think. I thought I would podcast a little bit early this week for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that tomorrow night, Wednesday night, on F.wmv Live, Lime and Violet Live, which is a Facebook app, you can search that and look for that, I'm going to be doing a live trunk show. I'm pretty excited about it. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to talk a little bit about my process. I'm definitely going to mention the podcast since that's really what the whole podcast is about. And of course, show off some pretties. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but it is tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern Time. And you can get more information on that on Facebook if you look up Lime and Violet &, Lime and Violet Live. And that's a pretty cool thing. So you should be on that every Wednesday night anyway. So there's that. The second thing is, several weeks ago, I told you that I had gone down to Yarn Shop and spoken with the owner in Southwest Harbor to see if she wanted to carry my yarns. Well, I not only did that, but my husband and I went on a bit of a yarn shop crawl at the end of June. And we went to 3 other shops as well to see if they wanted to carry my yarn in the shop. And I had a little handout and, this is what I've got and this is what I, blah, blah, blah. And I brought samples in a little suitcase and all that. So I called to follow up on those things, and the lady in Southwest Harbor said, you know what? It's been crazy here this summer. I haven't even had time, so call me back in the fall. Okay. I'll call you back in the fall then and hope that you remember me and the yarn that I sent you for free. The second woman was my local yarn shop. It's about 45 miles away, but it's the closest one we have. And that woman said that she bought a skein of the yarn off the at the wholesale price, and she said she was going to knit a sock with it, and she was going to ask her customers what they thought of it. Well, I called her up, and she said, well, customers really felt that for that kind of price, it needed to have nylon in it for durability, and it really wasn't all that soft, and so on and so forth. And I said, but it says right on the label, it's 75% superwash merino, which doesn't felt, or superwash wool that doesn't felt, and 25% nylon. And she goes, oh, I must have you confused with somebody else, but it's still not soft enough. Thanks, but try again. Okay. Now, I don't know if she really has no idea who I am or what the yarn was that I sent her or anything. I really don't know. Maybe she does. Maybe she really didn't think it was soft enough. That's insane because I use the same basis as a lot of bigger names and they don't have any problems and it's the same stuff. But whatever. So I'm discouraged. I'm incredibly discouraged. The other, I guess there was we've been to 3 shops total. And the other one, the phone was busy and I haven't been able to get back in touch with her. But honestly, at this point, I'm so discouraged. I'm not even sure I'm going to call. Like, whatever. Maybe Highland Handmaids isn't meant to have a retail location, brick and mortar. I don't know. Maybe someday I'll have my own yarn shop and it'll get prime billing then. And until then, that's it. So, that's what I've been doing to grow my business. Basically, there's been no growth at all. I'm hoping, though, after the trunk show that I'll see a little upswing in business. Last week, I showed you what was in the dye pots was this yarn that was this. Of course, with the daylight here, it's a little bit difficult to see. It was that yarn that was black and dark green and that bright highlighter kind of yellow. And this is what it looks like wound into a ball. I was hoping to have a swatch for you, but I haven't had a chance to knit that because I've been busy doing other swatches. But I did get the other yarns reskeined. I had done one with green, which had dark gray and black in it, orange, which had a dark burgundy and black in it and gray, and the pink, which was navy blue and black. So here are the 3 yarns. Again, you're not going to get a great view of them because of the way the light is in here today. Sorry. This is the green. The green is my favorite. It's green and it's got grays and blacks in it. They're bright pops surrounded in a mostly dark field. I cannot wait to knit this up so that you all can see what this looks like, the way that it works in stockinette stitch, because I think it's going to be amazing. But you'll have to wait a little while for that. So there's those 3. I've learned with these skeins not to tie yarn with just 2 figure-8 ties, because when you dye them and then dry them and then try and reskein them, you get a massive knot of yarn that takes you hours and hours to reskein. The orange went beautifully. The orange had no problem. It took me about 5 minutes to reskein this. Not a big deal. The pink and the green each took me, the green took me probably a good 3.5, 4 hours because it was just so messed up. And the pink probably took me, I don't know, probably 2 hours. This one caused much swearing and cursing. I yelled at my husband and the dog because they were just in my line of sight and I was frustrated. I don't know why. I only, when I skeined these up originally, only tied them off with 2 ties. I know better than to do that. I've learned that with other skeins of yarn, that 2 ties is not enough to keep it from knotting. You'd have thought I would have learned, but apparently not. So this week has been made up of fail. Yay for me. I'm really excited about it. That's sarcasm. I'm not really. Okay. That's what's been in the dye pots. I have dyed up 2 more. Of course I didn't. Oh, yes I did. Haha. 2 more colorways. One colorway is Summit, and I will link the pictures of Summit in the show notes because I did sell some of that online, so I had the pictures. I haven't reskeined it yet, so I'm not going to show it to you because if it is not reskeined, yarn is kind of ugly. Honestly, truthfully, it does not look good. Most of it, especially the stuff with the dark and the pops of light. The 3 that I just showed you were ugly. I was not pleased with them at all until I reskeined them, and I was like, wow, those are actually pretty cool. So don't trust unreskeined yarn, ever. Don't do it, because it's not the same. I dyed up some more Lime and Violet. Or no, sorry, it's not Lime and Violet. It's Empress sock yarn. Bright violet and a limey green. This limey green turned out to be more green than lime, and of course you're not going to get a good idea. It's more almost, it's not minty green, but it's not the yellowy green that I was hoping for. Also noticed that, I don't know if you can see how much blue is in this. The way the purple dye took up left a lot of blue areas in the yarn. This is supposed to be 2 colors, purple, lime. That's it. Those are the only 2 colors supposed to be in there. So now there's all this blue. And this one, which I reskeined, I'm not sure if you can tell that that has got a ton of blue in it. Again, this week has been made of fail. So now I'm tossing back and forth whether or not to call this by a new name. It's different enough that I don't even want to call it a different dye lot of the same fiber. I'm not sure I'm even comfortable calling it Empress, honestly, because it is so different. There's a lot of blue in this yarn, and it's beautiful. It is so pretty. I love it. I love that there is a bigger range of colors to knit up in this, and maybe I'll knit a swatch with it and see. Probably not, though. If you can hear the digging sounds, it's the cat chasing a spool of thread across my craft room. So, again, it's not so pretty reskeined versus this. So, I will be reskeining those and probably showing the rest of those either at the trunk show or to you next week. The only success I have had all week have been the swatches. This was a swatch that I showed you last time. That is that blue, that bright, bright blue. I have also done one in yellow. Again, I don't weave in ends for swatches. I don't really care. They're knotted. They're not going anywhere. And it just has a simple seed stitch border, so that's the yellow. On my blocking mat now, I have this one, which is going to be hard for you to see because of the light. But it is... I'm really bad at this. This is pinks and greens, and there's navy blue interspersed throughout. I don't know how well you can even see that. You can't. I'm not even going to bother. But that's a swatch that, actually, you know what? Well, it's dry. I could take it off, but I'm not going to. So that's that one, which is a variegated color. Most of the ones I've done of swatches are the semi-solids. And this is another semi-solid in red. Bright, beautiful red. And you can tell I'm only about halfway done this one. But these are fast. And I like them a lot. Because not only of the speed, but because I feel like I'm accomplishing something. None of my knitting projects are near completion, any of them, where they are right now. So I'm knitting the swatches so that I feel like I've accomplished something. I did want to mention that Beverly had a really good point about the blocky mats, and that if I make just with a Sharpie, if I make a grid on here, then it'll be easier for me to block because I won't have the uneven corners because I'll be able to line them up with the lines on the grid. Beverly, that was an awesome idea. Thank you so much. I've mentioned CJ Kopek before. This Grabby Hands is brought to you by CJ Kopek, who is my default Grabby Hands if I have nothing else. This is Juniper Frost. It is impossible for you to see the beautiful teal greens and blues and everything that is in here, but that's 2 ounces of merino silk blend. Beautifully shiny stuff. I can't wait to finish spinning that up. So now I'm at 12 minutes, so I'm going to have lots more to cut. So until next week, guys, happy spinning and knitting. I hope you tune into the Lime and Violet Trunk Show, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.